Yo, what up guys, beside me here to talk about the Wight Queen Ankora Fragment fusion that just launched today. Go ahead and update your game. You'll find her in the game and you see the events and tournaments that you can complete to eventually obtain this champion. But it's not going to be easy for newer players coming into the game. That means my free-to-play 2024 account cannot go for this champion, and I'll explain why in great detail. Also, my noob to pro might be skipping this one, but my endgame account will always get this champions because we have all the resources on that account. So the fusion calendar that just launched is right here in the background, and I explained great detail why you should probably skip out on this one, because it's not one of those easy fragment fusion that it's even more complicated than we've ever seen before. All right, if I switch over to this calendar, you see that first of all, you'll see 55 fragments from tournaments that you can obtain by beating all these tournaments. We know that already. We see events to 40 fragments from events that we've already seen at the bottom right here. That's cool and dandy, but by doing those events and tournaments, you end up with only 95 fragments of this champion. Where do you get the last 5? From a new type of event that we are seeing being added right now to fragment, and that's the Heroes Path Champion fragment that is right here at the bottom. And we've really never seen this happen, that Heroes Path is now part of fragments, but you have to obtain 5. Well, 5 is reasonably easy to obtain from Heroes Path, I think. If whether it's from artifact enhancement, whether it's from champion training, or even from summoning more shots, I don't know what they will put with this Heroes Path, but or from soulstone summons, any way they can put into it that you can achieve that 5 fragments from it. But that means, why I say this is very difficult is because this fusion or this fragment event requires you to complete summon rush. You cannot skip it. It requires you to complete champion chase. You cannot skip it. So by doing those events and tournaments, you end up with 95, and your last 5 can now be obtained from Heroes Path. I've calculated it anyway. So what about if I skip summon rush and then I go for champion chase and go for the Heroes Path in full? You still end up 5 short. I've checked it. Let me know in the comments if I'm making a mistake about that. But I thought about skipping out on summon rush, but if they made it so possible that you could skip out on one of the summoning events and then add Heroes Path, it would be reasonable. But they added Heroes Path plus you have to complete 2 summoning events. Usually for a newer player like my free-to-play 24 account, we've been saving ancient shard all this time, thinking we can just do one of those fragment events that will require us to complete only 1 summoning event. It's not that easy. Well, even for newer players like mine who probably have 3 sacred shards or some ancient shards saved up, and then you can complete summon rush and champion chase. What then? You still have, let's see, dungeon divers. 1 is starting tomorrow. Don't start farming the fire knight today. Wait until tomorrow when dungeon divers start to farm, go crazy on that fire knight. That's the first event right here to align with the fire knights as usual. I don't know why they didn't start it together today, because they wanted this dungeon divers to be a little bit difficult, but it still cuts into spider, so you can still use spider to complete it if fire knight ends. No problem. So I'm not rushing that fire knight until dungeon divers starts. So you have the second dungeon divers who still cut into spider, so which is nice. You use spider to complete first dungeon divers and the second dungeon divers, which will give you enough silver to do this artifact enhancement 1 and artifact enhancement 2. And then the third dungeon divers, this has only 2 dungeon divers, but still they are pretty close together though. Those 2 dungeon divers are pretty close together, so it's not going to be easy. But that means Ice Golem does not have any dungeon divers attached to it. Right here at the end of this event, you see Ice Golem just standing alone. They're probably still going to add dungeon divers that doesn't have anything to do with this fusion by then. But that's what we're seeing right here. Maybe the Heroes Path is giving me a hint that it's going to be dungeon divers. Is that what I'm thinking? Because you can see also Dragon has no dungeon divers attached to it. So maybe this Heroes Path will be get artifacts type of Heroes Path that gives you point based on artifacts that you get. Is that what I'm thinking? Did I just crack the code? That because we don't know what this Heroes Path wants us to do. Maybe usually it requires you to do 2 things to get points for that Heroes Path. Maybe soulstone summons or dungeon divers along with it. That's what I'm thinking, because for us to not have a 3rd dungeon divers, usually we'll have artifact enhancement 1, 2, and 3, which we do right now. A lot of silver drain. That's another reason why newer players who are currently at 10 million silver, 20 million silver probably cannot do this, and if you're also short of energy. So from me looking at it like right now, it seems like it's going to be virtually impossible for a new account playing less than a month or two to complete this one, because of 2 summoning events are required. If you skip out on summon rush and do champion chase and finish the hero's path, you will still not have enough fragments to complete this fusion. I've checked. You end up at less than that, even if you do a little bit of additions. So let's just do it again just to make sure. Let's say 55 plus 40, that's 95, and then I do hero's path, that gives me 15, right? I do hero's path. So what if I skipped 15 summon rush? You're at 95. So what people might think to do is, tomorrow when we see this summon rush that comes up, is it possible for me to just get 5 fragments from summon rush? If you can get 5 only fragments from summon rush and not go for the entire 15 fragments, that's if they break it 5 and 10. But if they put the entire 15 fragments in one spot for this summon rush, it's not going to be possible for you to get it. I don't remember the last one, how they broke it down, but if tomorrow we see summon rush has 5 and 10, then it might be possible for you to pull some shards, just some shards, or even ancient shards to get 5 fragments from summon rush, and then save all your resources to complete every other thing, including the hero's part. So you cannot skip anything. That's what it means. So that's what makes this one extremely difficult. And if you know anything about fragment event, one mistake will end you at 95 fragments. So I will not recommend those going for this 2024 free-to-play challenges to go for this one. It will require you to make a lot of sacrifices to spread your resources really thin, and you end up really stressed, especially if you're also going for it on your main account. So this is one that I will skip on the free-to-play 2024. I've been waiting till this calendar launches to see what I will do about it. And yes, I've decided that I will skip this fragment on the free-to-play 2024. I will skip it on the noob to pro. Even the noob to pro needs this champion for that particular night rep faction. And then on my main account, I will get her for sure, because I have all the resources to complete everything on that account. So if I got any of this information or this calculation wrong, you guys can let me know in the comments below. But for now, I'm just looking at it like it's not going to be an easy one. I'm hoping this is DD. Really hoping it's Dungeon Divers. I'm hoping. If it is Dungeon Divers, then it will make sense with Dragon, and it will make sense with the Ice Golem that is right here at the top. What do you guys think? This is a reasonable champion that we all sort of liked because she has a partner. So I knew it wasn't going to be an easy fragment fusion. It's not one of those ones where they can make summon rush or champion chase optional. It's not one of those ones where the points requirement for Dungeon Divers will be all of a sudden lesser. But the fact is, we're not seeing a Dungeon Divers that is so as long as champion training. That's the next thing I have not checked out. Champion training, how many do we have? We have 1 champion training, and that's it. 1 champion training. That's not so bad. Does that mean that they will add champion training into this hero's pack? Whatever is missing from this calendar that we normally have 2 of, we normally have 2 champion training, which is 1, and second one almost at the end right here. It's missing. 1 champion training is missing. That means we might have a champion training in hero's path. I'm breaking the code. I have also checked the calendar that usually shows upcoming events. It doesn't show up to 15th. So if it does show up to 15th, we'll see what is coming for that hero's path. That will be what will make most people decide whether they want to go for this or not. Anyways, guys, that's what I think about this one. My main account will go for it. All my free-to-play accounts will skip it because it requires 2 summoning events. If I go over to the game and show you what my free-to-play account is doing about this fusion, we've been prepping. It seems like we were ready to go for her. I'm talking about ancient shard that I saved so far, void, and even 2 secret shards that I saved. It seems like we are ready in terms of the shard department. But in order for me to do 2 summoning events, it's not going to be possible with this amount of shards. It's not. We just know that shards requirement is no longer just at 2,000 for 15 fragments. It now cuts up to 3,000 plus points. And I don't have a lot of mysteries to make it happen. I don't have a lot of fragments saved up that I need to summon for champion chase. So just that understanding that I cannot complete 2 summoning events on a new account like this makes me want to skip it. Now, back in the day when fragment fusion used to launch, you could just focus on your resources to 1. and then you have to complete all other events and tournaments. I'm willing to complete all other events and tournaments with energy, gems, everything, but it seems like the shard is the only reason why this free-to-play 2024 account is going to be skipping it. Even if I did save, there are people who have been summoning all their ancient shard from the beginning, and those people don't even have a chance at this if you're new to the game. But if you've been saving your secrets, saving your ancient, it's 2 summoning events. So do your maths, find out how many points you need for your champion chase. If you have some old fusions for Horizon and everything to get you some champion chase points, maybe you can get it done that way. But if you're not saved up any resources, it's going to require you to do 2 summoning event, and that's the only reason why this free-to-play 2024 account is going to be missing out on it. From my endgame account, I can already see that this is going to be an easy one. I have thousands of resources right here, so I don't have a problem with the shard requirement. I also don't have any problem with the Fire Knight farming. I see that the point is at normal 2,250 points, nothing done to the tournament points, but for dungeon divers, hopefully it stays the same and it doesn't get inflated. So, all right, that's the update in raid today. I don't see if there's any other news in the game that launched, but yeah, let me go ahead and open up my new resource that just launched into the game, which is going to be this exchange of fragments. I did go ahead, I had extra fragments for what I faced now. This champion, Xenogray Blade Master, I did get extra fragments for her, so I went ahead to exchange it into this new high mod fragment summoning exchange. So let me go ahead and see what I can pull from it. I thought there would be a different button from it, but it's all linked together. Let's see. I've seen a lot of pictures what people are getting from their high mod. What's up with my network? Or is raid down already? After the update, everything always doesn't work the same as it is. That's 9, and I got how many fragments of her? 4 fragments of her, and nothing else great on the list right here. So this is not, I'm not looking to get her on this account, I guess. So I'll do the same on my main account. They're supposed to show us what we are supposed to get. This is what you are supposed to get. So what people are looking forward to is getting a legendary skill tome, getting an epic skill tome. For a new account like this would have been huge, but instead everybody's getting a bunch of potions. I also did not get any 5-star chicken or no chicken at all. Damn. That's 10, and the timer right here shows you the next time that you can do this again. Remember, don't come in here and use champions that are important to you to exchange. Well, I can't even exchange rare champion fragments, only legendary champion fragments. What about epics? I also cannot exchange epic champion fragment. Let me switch over to my main account and do the same because I have some old fragments on that account. Let's see what I can get from there. And definitely not exchanging fragments for Timid the Fool. Definitely not exchanging for Xenogray. I have 100 of her. Kronja, that's a champion I'm working on from the Doom Tower. Fatalis, you get fragments of him when the event ends if you picked up some. And now Krilla the Witch Ham, I have 75 fragments of her. Let me hit that exchange button, and because that's not a champion I want to even complete fragments of. So I had that one very old, but I never got her fusion. Let me go ahead and exchange it and see what we can get. 15, but we can only do 10. So I'll hold on to Yoshi's fragment for now. Can even do Yoshi, but I'll hold on to that for now. Should I do the exchange right now? Let's hold on to that. We can only do 10 every 3 or 4 days. So let me go ahead and see what I can get from this 10. Ooh, it sounded. A legendary skill tome on my end game account. Why didn't the legendary skill tome pop up in the other account? But guess what? I did not get one single fragment of her on this account that needs the fragment the most. So it's all random. Some people are getting a lot of fragments of her. Some people are getting a lot of potion. I also got the what do you call this thing now? The barrel. This is good, but I did not get one fragment. So this is like bittersweet. Depending on where what you want. On this endgame account, I obviously want more fragments of her, but no problem. In 4 days we can try again, summon another 10 chests and see whether we'll be luckier that time. But I'll take this legendary skill tome as a consolation prize. So even if I have 5 more, I can't open it until this timer expires. All right, that's this update that we have today dropping for us for this Fusion calendar. It's not looking good, like I said. And let me know if you have alternate opinions about this my Fusion plan to skip it on the 2024 free-to-play account, to skip it on the noob to pro, because of the reasons I gave right here, because it requires you to complete tournaments, events, and 5 more fragments from Heroes Pack. But when tomorrow this Summon Rush lands, we can see whether it's, we can just pick only 5 fragments from that Summon Rush. But I won't recommend it for any player to just pick 5, because you might skip out on that rest of the fragment and miss out on one artifact enhancement or something. So it's always recommended to go for everything and end up with SX fragments of the champion than for you to just be counting your fragments each and miss out on 5. All right, that's what I think about this one. It's not going to be an easy one. Like I said, it's players in the community are not going to be happy about it. But hey, whenever a Fusion says don't do me, guess what? You now have enough time to go into and begin to level all your champions. My free-to-play account, which I'll put an update for tomorrow, is very happy to miss out on this Fusion. I'm not even sad about it. It means like if I can't get it and I've been saving, it means a lot of other people who are also in this content creator free-to-play challenge can also not get it, and we are all going to be skipping it and then spend our resources in general account development instead of some people getting her and then going insane in some content. All right, that's what I think about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Later, guys.